Hello, welcome to the Katy Sissine Show. Happy Friday to you. And we were talking about how everybody's got an opinion about Mr. Trump. And we left off yesterday talking about Mr. George Soros. It's only the president's first week in office, but yet he has gotten so much criticism. It's very extraordinary the amount of criticism that he's gotten, and especially from this guy, Mr. George Soros, who's actually known for getting protesters together and funding protesters to protest against Donald Trump, who was very against winning presidency and actually put $25 million into the Hillary Clinton campaign. He predicted prior to the election that he thought and hoped Trump would fail. And we've got a guest speaker who's calling in today who knows a lot about Mr. George Soros. We'll get her on the line in just a moment here.
Katie.
Hi, Eva. You're live on the Katy Sissine Show. Now, I don't know if you heard. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Welcome.
Congratulations on your new show too.
Thank you. So everybody who's watching out there, I just want to let you know that Eva from Canton, Georgia, she knows a whole lot about politics. And she knows a whole lot about Mr. George Soros. And Eva, I wanted to ask you, did you hear about the World Economic Forum in Geneva the day before Inauguration Day, where Soros said that he hoped that Trump would fail and that he knew that Trump was going to fail? And he also said many other things. He said Trump is doing the work of ISIS. He's the fearmongerer, and he's doing exactly what the terrorists want him to do. Have you seen that interview yet?
I did. I heard that. But I don't know if our listeners really know about how in-depth that George Soros is behind our Democratic Party, and who has huge financial ties that are so numerous and complex that it's impossible for us to follow all the threads in the web that he weaves globally. He certainly has been a threat to the Western civilization and has his hand heavily in Europe as well. And I think it's detrimental to the President Trump that he defeats ISIS, because really George Soros was for open borders and felt that if he could get in the migration of illegal aliens, just numerous as it started to happen in Europe, that what it causes is for the disintegration of the civilization that we've witnessed in Germany, London, where you bring in a culture whose religion is to get rid of the infidels, because it is very much a religious war. And in our Western civilization, they believe that we are Satan, the big Satan, and that, because of the way that we conduct ourselves and our religion, that we're nothing but, very bad people that need to be killed. And
right.
That is the basis of, and so really, with George Soros, it goes hand in hand. And if Trump fails at just wiping ISIS off the map, it could be very bad for the Western civilization as we know it today.
Right. Now, do you believe that Trump is going to succeed? And do you think that Soros is going to put obstacles in his way, impeding him from ridding us of ISIS?
Well, again, I think President, from what I see, the two cabinet members that have been approved by the Senate are very strong military leaders, and they are very wise. I feel that with the determination of Donald Trump, who is a very strong leader, that we can defeat ISIS, and our borders are important also, because remember, it's not just our close native brethren like Mexico that are crawling across. These are our enemies that infiltrate and cause terroristic threats to our nation.
Right.
And And this way, of course, again, a lot of these operations are private and they destabilize our country. And I feel that with America as she stands with this new administration, that it certainly is possible. However, I am concerned that, Obama and his administration and what they have done is weaken, the United States, weakened our military. So it may not be fast coming, even though it probably needs to be. But I have faith that we have good strategic people put in place. And I truly believe that, with the wit that we have, that we can certainly have a positive outcome.
Right. And being that, he plans to invest over $500 million in companies founded by the refugees and migrants out of Syria, which is, a Muslim country predominantly. It's 90% Muslim. And he especially wants to fund these refugees that are in Europe, because as you know, most of them are in, Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan. But he wants to focus on promoting the refugees that are already in Europe after they have, after that has shown to cause, after the refugees in Europe have been proven to cause more conflict since they've not infiltrated, but since they've come into Europe with the Paris attacks and Nice, France. I mean, it's disturbing. And even considering open borders just after those examples is terrifying for the U.S. because we're also, we also have, people coming across Mexico here and illegals who are criminals in Mexico, and they're, basically fugitives on the run coming here. Now we can't bring in people with a totally different ideology. And I think the great thing about Trump is he understands that. He understands we need to protect our borders and our national security. We need to prioritize that, and that culture does matter. We do need to recognize that this is a nation founded under God, and that other citizens of other nations know that, and they, like you said, they could destroy us if they...
Right. And what Soros does is he does help to exploit the weakness of the West by, he financially funds, and I don't know if your listeners really know how rich he is, but he is extremely rich.
He's worth $25 billion, just to let everyone know.
Yes. And he's funding extremist groups and they look to cause disruption and chaos in our country and in the USA. And Soros, for your listeners that don't know, he was the main financial backer of the Ferguson protests, which helped bring in the bus protesters from around the country to instigate violence and acts of destruction. And he's very much has a hand in all of this Western uprise, and again, not only in our country, but Russia and India and China, all over, because he gains his wealth through the collapsing of those countries. And so if the United States does not come out victorious in wiping out ISIS, we have a very extremely hard road ahead of us. So for me, and my personal outlook, I think with the people put in place in the cabinet that Trump has coming on, I'm waiting with delight, because I think that these people are some of the best that our nation has to offer.
Right, he's got generals, and he's got, they're generals, right? That we're referring to in the cabinet.
Right. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, this is great news. And Soros has also publicly, I guess, dissed Theresa May, Conservative Prime Minister of the UK. And, he makes it obvious that he's against the whole idea of nationalism because, as we know, Theresa May was for Brexit, and Trump promotes nationalism. He did very well and very eloquently promote nationalism in his inauguration speech. Now, what is it about, these liberals and their fear of nationalism? I mean, how are they just buying into this? It's absolutely crazy.
Well, a lot of it, in my opinion, and I think that we look at, I kind of have the same questions, because I don't understand how most of the businesses today that people are in, they get government restrictions that put an absolute throttle on their small businesses, and so, in my opinion, I felt that the Obama administration was throttling those businesses that are small and middle class businesses. And again, I think that part of President Trump's inaugural speech was that those people are not forgotten, that it isn't just about the extreme rich or the extreme poor, but it's about those fighting every day to live in one country that is the only one that is capitalism. And I think that, you just have and if we reflect back on ISIS, where this is a group that believes in a caliphate, which is to bring their religion globally to defeat the Christian religion, which we've seen the persecutions, and that they have a growth that is networked all throughout, Europe right now, and they're heading over here with the open borders that have been left unattended, and we see the terrorism in a small way, and it will just continue to grow. And being able to have Soros, even though he's not directly in control of ISIS, he has assisted in the growth of ISIS because of the organizations around the world that he has, because he has the ability to get in, to own the manufacturing of weapons that he owns or has a stake in, and also he is a foster for people that are illegal when they come into our nation, the United States, as well as Europe. And remember, that is for his own personal gain.
Right. Yeah, that's no mystery. He has enough money to prove it. And so, yeah, I really want to thank you for coming on the show today. And
Great.
you know so much about politics. I look forward to speaking with you very soon again for everyone to listen to. And
well, it's been a pleasure, Katie, and I love your show, and I wish you much success. But my last statement on Soros is just remember that these people like Soros, and Soros himself is a cancer, and we have to remove him from our country to make it safe again. And I do stand behind Trump and wish him the very best. And I look forward to seeing a very great show from you, Katie, and I wish you again the very best. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. With this call, it will be even better. So thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Bye, Eva.
Okay.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So, as you can see, Eva from Canton knows a whole lot about Soros. She actually makes me want to do my homework more than anything. George Soros said I don't know. I'm just like awestruck right now. That was great. So anyway, we're talking about how he has expressed disbelief in the efforts of Theresa May, who is for Brexit, and Trump. And we're going to take a break right here and come back to you. That was a great call with Eva from Canton, Trump supporter, anti-Soros. So we are anti-Soros here. If you don't know about Soros, and if that was kind of all blur to you, just do your research. He has made money off of collapsing economies, buying and selling currency, etc. in several countries. And he plans to victimize the U.S. as well, but we're not going to let him. Now stay tuned. I'll be right back with you.
It's a new year, new you at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper. Ring in the new year with huge deals on a brand new Ford. Right now, get exceptional offers like 0% financing plus a $1,500 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford F-150 XLT. Or get 0% financing plus a $1,000 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford Explorer. Make your resolution a reality during the New Year, New You sales event at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper, home of the Schottenkirk Customer Guarantee. Visit us online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
El Rey in Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Ellijay.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Welcome to Friday's episode, and we're talking about how everybody's got an opinion, and we're going over Mr. Soros' opinion. Mr. George Soros, Hungarian-American, worth $25 billion, big investor in the Hillary campaign and in the Obama campaign, big supporter for open borders. We just had a great talk with Eva from Canton, and she knows more about Soros than anyone you will ever meet. She is a walking encyclopedia of knowledge, especially concerning politics, and the Republican Party and enemies of the Republican Party, and not just people, but movements that are funded by people that essentially work against us. And these movements that work against us. For example, she mentioned how Soros funded the protesters in Ferguson. The violent riots that occurred there were just, were terrible, and he knew exactly what he was doing. Now, if someone really wants to protest an issue, why do they need to be funded for it? Because if someone really cares enough to make a statement, they're going to find a way to get themselves there and to protest. They don't need to be paid for it. So the total idea of doing that it just screams corruption. So anyway, it's obvious that he is all about a unified global system of governance. He has expressed disapproval upon Theresa May. He was in favor of Brexit, conservative prime minister of England, and also with Trump. He said some pretty awful things about Trump, and you can check out the full Bloomberg Business interview. It just occurred, last week before the inauguration. So why, Soros is about a unified global system of governance, and right now, people like Trump and Theresa May, they're not, because they want to focus on nationalism. They want to focus on building up one's nation's pride in order to have the nation prosper as a whole, and have the people of the nation work together and build up their nation. And that can influence other nations to do the same, because we've tried to go and save the world. We've tried to protect other people's borders before our own, and it just hasn't been working out well for us. So the problem with a unified global system of governance is the fact that having only one system of governance on a global scale takes away one's right to choose. It takes away one's traditions and values. I can't advocate this. I respect people's respective cultures, and I respect my own culture so much so that I strive to maintain it. I value the fact that I'm American. I lived abroad, and I went to Spain, and I observed socialism and everything, and I observed the way of life, and I admired it, and it was fun. But at the end of the day, when all was said and done, I was happy to be on my way home and go back to America, because this is what I call home. And everything about it is home to me and makes me happy and proud of who I am. And I'm lucky to come from a country where I can feel this way. And in Europe, I was missing home. I was having a great time. But America is a fantastic place. I mean, we've got privacy, we've got the crowded cities, we've got, all the cities built for cars, or, most cities built for cars. I know traffic is really bad in places like LA and stuff like that. So transportation could be better. But we haven't made over here. I mean, as far as the per capita income goes, and the freedoms we have, and the technologies, the entertainment we get access to first before anyone else, we are it right now. I mean, we are lucky. And Europeans admire that. I even had Europeans ask me, what's it like to live in America? And ask me how they could get over here. I mean, people love it. So anyway, America, as we all know, is a nation made up of many cultures. Oftentimes, liberals use that statement to their advantage when discussing issues of immigration. They say, well, we are a nation made up of immigrants, so we should allow immigrants into our nation. We shouldn't restrict them. Yet, imagine how strange America would be if we became the leaders of a global system of governance that essentially dissolves culture. I don't know if you're following me right now, but basically what I'm saying is we are a nation made up of many cultures because we have the freedom of expression. The very First Amendment, before the right to bear arms, is the freedom of expression, beliefs, religion. We respect that. Now, if we become the leaders of a system of global governance, of a unified one world order, which Soros has quoted, one world order, new world order, then we will be dissolving culture. Because asking people to be under the same government gives them no choice. It takes away, as I said, one's right to choose. There's only one culture to be a part of. When we unify all of the governments together, we give people no choice. They can't choose if they want to live in a theocracy or a democracy or a republic. They no longer have that choice because they're going to be under one system. And not only that, maybe they'll have the same holidays and their, respective religious holidays would be dissolved. What if we didn't, hypothetically, what if the government just said we can no longer allow you to have the Christmas holidays off anymore for vacation? I mean, that would be terrible. And it would definitely damage the economy, as, it brings consumers together to buy a lot of good stuff. So anyway, George Soros, his new nickname, Soros said in September 2016 that his foundation, as I said with Eva on the last part of the show, will invest $500 million in companies founded by refugees and migrants, especially in Europe. I'm not trying to laugh, but that's just, wow, code for danger right there. I mean, he's telling you right now that he's going to invest in refugees from Syria, a 90% Muslim country, in European countries that are majority Christian, mostly Catholic, then I believe Eastern Orthodox. So he's basically taking people from a country of civil war due to religion, and he's placing them, and many of them are associated with the terrorist Muslim organization ISIS. He's placing them throughout Europe, whether we know if they're affiliated with the organizations or not, because there's too many to keep track. There's too many people to keep track of in this movement. I believe there's about 1 million refugees from Syria in Europe. Now, he knows what's going to happen here when he invests in these startup companies of refugees that are 90% Muslim and some affiliated, unknowingly affiliated, anonymously affiliated, I should say, with ISIS. He knows that they're going to gain power and influence and become capable of, overpowering their European counterparts. And he wants to invest in their companies and give them power. And he's going to end up giving power to some terrorists because it's inevitable. That's just what's going to happen. Now, why would someone do this? It's just crazy. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, 4.8 million people have fled to Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, and Iraq, and 6.6 are internally displaced within Syria. Meanwhile, like I said, about 1 million have requested for asylum in Europe, and these are the people that Soros wishes to fund $500 million with to help them, with startup companies and such, maybe organizations, whatever they choose to do that they are approved of doing. And it's a lot of people and it's a lot of money, and it's hard to keep track of where all that money goes to and to who it goes to, which means that there inevitably will be power granted to undeserving people. Strange things happen when you give stuff away. Thus, Soros is investing in company startups of foreigners in foreign countries, Syrians in foreign countries that are most likely Muslim and possibly associated with ISIS. Danger zone. Big danger zone. Beep, beep. This type of investment for only one group of people is likely to exacerbate conflict, as I've stated, and I will eloquently state here with my pre-written statements, because it gives a right to only one particular people of a nation. And in this case, it's the refugees. The democratic nation that Soros claims to fight for is free and equal, yet he is contradicting equality by endorsing startup companies of refugees in particular, and especially in Europe. Now, Soros plans to invest in Muslims, as I said, that may be affiliated with ISIS. So remember what's going on here. And we don't want this happening in the U.S. The U.S. is already having enough issues from racial disparity endorsed by people like Soros. Now, people are starting to recognize that he could actually do some serious damage. And you need to recognize it, and you need to tell your friends and your family about it, because we all need to know what this guy is about. If anyone should have to seek asylum from this country, it should be George Soros. Not Chelsea Manning, not Edward Snowden. This guy needs to get out of here. He's got an American passport. He's got dual citizenship. I mean, who knows? Anyway, we're out of time for the week. And I've had a lot of fun this week hosting interviews for the first time on the show. We've had a lot of great guests that I would love to have back and, also in person. So I hope that you continue to watch and stay tuned in for next week. We've got exciting stuff coming up. We're going to be able to talk about Trump's progress. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Katy Sissine. You can tweet me at Katy FYNTV and email me at katy@betyournews.com. Thank you. I hope you have a great weekend and a great Friday.